Hello. So we have another question. Closest binary search tree value. And the interesting premise of this question is that you want to find the value that is closest to the target, which means the value might not necessarily exist. You simply want the closest. And once you resolve this idea of how do you get a closest value, then you can begin to make use of the BST's sorted nature to get a value relatively quickly. So let's think this through logically. First you start at the root value, and then you have a target. And you want to sort of move towards the target. So in the sense that if it's a 3.7, you want to be you want to return a 4, but at the same time, you'd want to explore if there was a value that could have been closer to 3.7. So that means you need to have a result, and you also need to have a value that you're currently looking at. Because it's only after looking at 3 and having seen 4 before that we know 4 is the answer. Otherwise, we can't return 4 without having looked at any of the other values. Because let's say this was 40 and this was 30, then it's possible that there could exist 36 that would have been closer to 37. So let's look at one way to solve this. We start with the root value, and then we continuously iterate and essentially do two things. One is we adjust what the closest value is, and the second is we adjust what the value we are looking at is. And since we are given a root value to start with, we can stick with using a root value. So the root value update is very straightforward. Go left if smaller, or go right if bigger, or equal, right? Because equal is technically solved by the case where it's the value. So we go left, and that's the root update. So while we have root, we can keep it looking through the tree until we run out of values. And closest, now this is the interesting thing. You can actually use a lambda function here, where key equals lambda x, absolute of target minus x. So this handles cases of larger and smaller values. So you're essentially looking at just the pure smallest value. And then with that, you are able to return closest. Yep.